Hi, my name is Brian Muller, and I'm presenting this informational meeting on Arizona Initiatives and Referendums. These are the following topics we will be covering in this meeting: the history of a direct democracy, basic definitions of initiatives and referendums, pros and cons of initiatives and referendums, we'll compare and contrast both of them, and then what impact direct democracy has on the Arizona Constitution. Democracy means rule of the people. 2,000 years ago, the government was split into geographical areas, whereas the people of the community ran the governmental functions. There were two reasons why the founding fathers of the United States did not like the concept. One was citizens running the government, and they preferred a Republican form of government by representation. The founding fathers felt that citizens weren't qualified, and that eventually a direct democracy would lead to civil and foreign wars. Populists and progressives wanted a radical change, so they engrafted the elements of direct democracy onto its representative structure, whereas ordinary citizens would better have opportunities to manage and control the government. Furthermore, this pushed the initiative, referendum, and recall processes. The initiative process is characterized as a people process, whereas the decisions are based on voters approving or rejecting measures presented. The constitutional initiative allowed citizens to add, modify, or remove language from the laws being created in the government. The constitutional initiative is where voters either approve or reject the amendments presented by the citizens. The process must survive the petition and the ballot. First, the amendment is proposed for one single subject without any legal or editorial assistance from the government. Statutory initiative permits citizens to propose, draft, and implement various laws, including those concerning criminal justice, education, taxation, and other areas. However, the signature requirements for statutory initiatives differ from those of the general initiative process. The process for the initiative is as the draft petition is sent to the Secretary of State, where it is circulated among the people. After the people see it, there must be a certain number of signatures that support the amendment. Then, if the number of signatures is supported, then the Secretary of State approves the amendment pending any non-valid signatures. Then there is a general election where the amendment is either approved or rejected by the people. There are various advantages and disadvantages to initiatives in Arizona. Advantages include the practice of direct democracy, reducing reliance on the state's legislative body and allowing voters to participate in decisions regarding amendments that may affect them or the country. On the other hand, disadvantages include high costs, complexity, and the potential vulnerability to legal and technical barriers depending on that specific issue or amendment involved. We will now go into referendums. A referendum is created by the voters. The purpose is to challenge a law passed by the legislature. These include citizen referendums, which challenges a law passed by legislature, while a legislative referendum asks voters to approve a law or amendment. Referendums are typically enacted by the Arizona legislature if citizens disagree with a legislative decision. They may submit a referendum application. Citizens have 90 days to gather valid voter signatures. Once signatures are verified and deemed valid, the implementation of the law is suspended and the issue is placed on general election ballot. During the subsequent general election, voters determine whether to approve or reject the law. In certain cases, emergency elections may be held if an amendment is considered urgent. Referendums present both advantages and disadvantages. The benefits include providing voters with the opportunity to approve or reject legislation enacted by the legislature, offering the public a means to veto unpopular or perceived unjust laws, and encouraging civil engagement by prompting voters to become informed about political issues. However, there are drawbacks such as complexity of legal language, which may be difficult for many citizens to understand. This can result in only a small segment of the electorate making decisions on significant policy matters, as some individuals might not fully comprehend the materials or be willing to invest the time to do so. Additionally, referendums can oversimplify complex issues into simple yes or no choices, which may lead voters to rely on personal biases rather than thoroughly reviewing the proposed amendment. When comparing initiatives and referendums, initiatives can be filed before an election by state citizens. The process may follow statutory or constitutional guidelines depending on the issue. Referendums, however, must be filed within 90 days after a law is passed by the legislature. Referendums address laws already enacted by the legislature that are subsequently questioned by state citizens. In summary, referendums involve laws passed by lawmakers that are subject to challenge. So as far as the impact of our initiatives and referendums toward direct democracy, both tools embody direct democracy, where citizens do not just elect representatives, but also make or repeal laws themselves. This empowers Arizona voters to shape their government more directly than in states without such provisions. I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. This concludes our presentation.